Okay.
Yeah. So this tutorial is going to be a complete guide to the Tack It method. It's my favorite way to apply glitter, and I know that I touch on it in a lot of my videos, but this is going to be Tack It from A to Z and everything you need to know about it. The main parts of the Tack It method is you're going to need your Aleene Tack It Over and Over, a container to keep your Tack It in, water to dilute your Tack It, and then you're going to need a brush to apply it to your tumbler, which I use these type of foundation brushes. The other thing that I use always for Tack It is I use a special little sponge brush because I do a lot of tumblers and I don't want to keep having to try to get all this fine glitter off of my hands. So I use this little guy a lot. I used to get them from Five Below. They stopped carrying them. Now I ordered them in bulk. I'll actually keep them on my website. But this is like a lifesaver if you don't want all the stuff all over your hands. And I'll show you how I use this guy too. So I've actually gone and prepped some tumblers. They're drying now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get myself set up to show you how I mix my Tack It, and then I'll be back. All right, so I'm going to mix Tack It for you guys so you can see. I keep my Tack It in an airtight container so that I don't have to mix it every single time I want to use it, and I don't want it to dry out and have to throw it away. So I'll mix a bunch and then I keep it. Now there are people who use Tack It straight out of the bottle. That is something that you can do too. Oh, this is a new one. Let me grab one that's already open. Whoops. All right. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to grab a bottle that was already open that the tip has already been cut off of. They actually come, I use this stuff a lot, so I buy a lot of them at once so that I always have it on hand. They actually come with a tip that needs to be cut off so it doesn't dry out, and you can keep it on your shelf. This stuff is like my absolute favorite product probably ever that I use. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, if I can find my camera here, I'm going to squirt my Tack It in here. And you see it's thick. Now you could use it just like this. I just find that I like to thin it out a little bit. I don't do the 50-50. I think 50-50 makes it too watery and you lose a lot of the Tack It. This stuff is meant to be in a repositional adhesive, so you know, it's not it doesn't ever it's got a nice tack to it. It doesn't ever like dry 100%, which I know sounds weird, but it actually is really awesome. But if you see, I'm trying to get to focus. See, it says repositional adhesive, temporary holds for appliques, trims, ribbon, and more. With glitter, once you put it on, it is on. So then after I've put it in my cup, you see the thickness of it. I'll take a little stick and show you. You see it doesn't drip off. It's very thick. I want it to be a little bit runny, not much. I don't do 50-50. I honestly think that it has to do with your environment. So if you see, I didn't put a ton of water in there. I just put probably it's probably like 70-30 or 40-60, and then I just mix it. I just use a popsicle stick and I mix it. And I've always loved Aleene's products, like the brand. My mom used to sew, and my mom was a big crafter and all of that. So, but you see now how like your drip will eventually go down. It's not going to just stay, but it's not thick enough where it's runny. This is how I like it. I like it like that. I like it like the consistency of maybe like sour cream, I guess. Just because I don't want it so runny that it loses its tackiness, but I want to just thin it out a little bit so I can get a thin coat. So that's all it takes to mix it. You can try different, stop baby. You can try different consistencies and see what works for your environment. Then I literally will put the lid on and it's good to go. And because this is a non-toxic, it doesn't have VOCs or anything, I can do the Tack It method with my kids around, all of that. So I use the Tack It a lot versus the epoxy method because I do have 4 children, and thanks to the pandemic, they're all home. So, you know, my time to come in epoxy is when I can leave them. So this is a really great alternative to putting glitter on, and you can use it with chunkies and all of that. We will do a second Tack It video with that. But now I'm going to get my cups and get set up to where I can show you how to apply the different types of glitters that work with Tack It. All right, so I have a couple of cups. We're going to do a few, but these are all base painted, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea. So this tutorial is, by the time this is up, is probably going to be up. This is done with Colorshift glitter in the Tack It method, and then it's also done with the power wash method. But you see how the glitter lays down so you get the full effect? This is another one that was done with the Tack It method. This is a holographic silver. The Tack It method was just laid on top, and a temporary tattoo is actually going to go on this guy. This entire cup was actually done with the Tack It method as well. The base was done with a silver holographic, and then I put a mermaid scale stencil on it, spray painted my base colors, covered it in the Tack It mixture, and then layered my glitters and then burnished them down. So I love the effect of the Tack It method. I think it's really, really pretty. These guys are iridescent on the bottom, and the silver is actually a holographic. So we're going to go and we're just going to try out some different ones, but first we're going to talk about how you apply the Tack It glue. So we have our mixture that we just mixed up. We're going to take a tumbler. I take my foundation brush and a tumbler. So here's my tumbler. And dip your brush in your Tack It glue. And then you just literally just brush it on. A nice thin layer. It doesn't have to be, it's not like Mod Podge where if there's huge chunks you're going to see it, because it will dry, but you just want to try to get it as even as possible. You definitely make sure you don't miss any parts because then you're not going to have any glitter sticking to it. So just paint it on, and you're going to see where it is versus where it's not because it hasn't dried yet. It's the easiest to see on black cups. On white cups, not so much. And the best thing to do with the Tack It method when it comes to the color of your cup is base it either the color as close as you can to your glitter, because your glitter is going to be burnished down and laying flat, or if you're doing something with any kind of color shift, black is the best base color. So that's why, yeah, black. Thank you. Willow got into my surplus glitter. Give me that, Mommy. Thank you. Sorry, Willow got into my surplus glitter. Yeah. You just want to make sure you get your rim really, really well and that you're pulling it back and forth. And I have painted in all different directions. I've never had a problem with that. It's so much more forgiving than Mod Podge. So I don't have the issues that I have with Mod Podge with the Tack It. I know a lot of people struggle with Tack It, and I think a lot of the reason people struggle is just because there is a little bit of, oh, thank you, Willow. There is a little bit of trial and error at first. You know, you have to see what mixture works for your environment. And yeah, and then you also need to make sure that you're covering the cup fully and, you know, and that you're letting it dry till you can't see it anymore so that it's tacky, all of those things. But once you get it down, it will be your favorite way to apply glitter, I promise. It's just so fun, and the effects are so cool, and as you do different glitters with it, you're going to love it. Make sure you get your bottom really well. Bottoms are a lot of places. Bottoms and rims are where a lot of people struggle with Tack It. Okay, so here's the other secret to the Tack It method. You want to let this coat fully dry, and then you're going to put on a second coat. I use these paper towel holders to hold my cups to dry. I love them. I buy them right by the case. So this, I'm going to let this one dry, and this one's going to get a second coat. No. Yeah. So I'm going to paint one more on camera so you can see. Let's do this one. I'm going to paint one more on camera so you can see how you do the painting. So you're going to put your brush in your Tack It. I wipe off a little bit of the excess, but it's pretty easy to move around, so I'm not super worried. And then you just brush it on. But you see now this is a lighter cup, so you're going to have a harder time seeing where you put it than you do on the darker cup. So you just want to make sure that you really get it. That's another bonus to putting on more than one coat is, you know, you're definitely going back and making sure you're getting your cup covered. Do 2 coats. If you're not 100% sure you got great coverage, do 3. It's such a thin layer, and it dries to where it's not going to give you any problems to do multiple coats. As long as you're not glopping it on and you're letting it fully dry before you put your glitter down, you can put multiple coats without any kind of issue with the laying of your glitter. I think a lot of people think that they need to apply it like Mod Podge. If they don't glop it on so that they can get their glitter on before it dries or whatever, like that's our mentality with Mod Podge, is it dries so fast, it dries so fast. Like, this is very forgiving once you get used to it. Right before we put our second coats on the 2 that are drying, and I'm going to do more, I'm just waiting for spray paint to dry, I wanted to kind of show you guys this. There's a quick tutorial on my channel. This is what mica or nail dipping powder looks like laid down with the Tack It Method. So it just gives it a very cool iridescent look to it. And it's this is super, super easy. So I'm gonna show you how to do this as well. We're gonna do all different kinds. But this is what it looks like finished under epoxy. All right, so we've let the cups sit and dry, and now we're gonna put a second coat of the Tack It mixture on. We're gonna do exactly like we did the first time. Take our brush, our Tack It mixture, and take your cup and brush it on. Now, when you're painting on the second coat, you're going to feel the tackiness of the first coat when your brush doesn't have any more of the mixture on it. So, like, if your brush gets dry and you move it over a part of the cup, like right here, you're going to feel a little bit of the tack. So, don't freak out if that happens. It's totally fine. You're not going to rub it off. But now I'm going to put my second coat on. So I'm going to let these guys dry, and then I'll be back to show you some more tips on the Tack It method. The other thing, too, with your brushes, I like to wipe off as much of it as I possibly can on my brush. The best way to take care of these guys is to try to rinse out as much of it as possible while it's still wet. If you're like me and you're a horrible brush washer, the other way to remove Tack It, because Tack It is like a repositional adhesive and water just reactivates it, is I'll soak them in fabric softener if they get hard, and then I'll be able to rinse all of it out, which is pretty helpful. Again, though, if you're using this over and over again, like I use my whatever brush they use for Tack It are only for Tack It. So I can just like spray it with water and then use it again, and it's not that big of a deal. We're going to do a few different styles on a few different cups. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with the black one, and that one's going to be with a Colorshift glitter. I'm going to use Hydra by the Glitter Chimp, and it is a fine Colorshift glitter. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I have my handy-dandy parchment paper to catch my extra glitter. I'm going to lay my parchment paper down. Let me move this back just a hair so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. Take my cup, and I'm going to just pour my glitter on. If I can find the opening. There we go. So I'm going to take my glitter, and I'm going to pour it on my cup. Hopefully I stay in frame. And with any time I do a color shift, I do a black base, or I do a darker of whatever that color shift is, one of the colors that it shifts, because you get way more of the color, you can see way more of the shift when it's on a black base. This is a white base. That's what I like with my color shifts. I just think it looks really, really cool when you do it this way. And it may or may not be up with this one, but I do an entire tutorial on different fine color shifts to make a specific tumbler, so you can see how they're done. So I'm just going to keep on going all the way around my cup and shaking off any excess glitter. It's going to hold very little glitter. It's not going to hold a ton. This is another reason I love this method for applying glitter, is because you end up using a heck of a lot less glitter than you do with any other method, except for maybe the epoxy method. But if you have children, or you can't always have epoxy going, this is a much easier way to do it. And I also like this because when you do the epoxy method, you have to wait for that epoxy to cure before you can put another coat. Woo-wee! I mean, you can hear Willow's playing in here. Willow, don't hit my camera, honey. And all of that, and it's this is easy for me to do when they're home because I am not exposing them to any toxins or VOCs or anything crazy. I do not epoxy in my house. I do not epoxy. I don't do anything like around my kids that's like that because, well, it's not my job to screw up their bodies. They'll do that when they're older. So now you see we have it on there. If you see spots, oh, silly Willy. If you see spots where, like, you don't have enough, don't worry about that now, which sometimes you won't even see until you burnish it down. What I now do is I put it back on my holder. I want to put all of my good glitter that I just poured out back in my shaker. Okay, I'm running out of memory. Hopefully I will be able to record this before I run out of memory. If not, we have lots of cups to go. So the first thing that we're going to do is now we're going to burnish it down. I like to burnish my, I don't want to use my hands. Okay, Willow. I like to use one of these guys. It's, if you see it has a little bit of a slant here. Willow is touching everything. So this is how I burnish it down. I keep my paper down to catch all of my glitter. And I take this guy and I just rub. And this one keeps the glitter off of my hands. And I find that it also burnishes it down evenly. I actually like this one better than the ones that I was using from Five Below because of the flat surface. I feel like I get a much better burnish, and the glitter comes right off of it very easily. And then I'll take my brush side and just make sure I brush any excess off. But you see the difference between the burnished glitter and the raw glitter. So I'm going to do that all the way around. So if you see how easy this burnishes it down, your hands stay clean, you don't have any like spots or anything, and a lot of that is because of that flat end, which I'm going to move my camera, so I don't even know if you guys are seeing all of this. But do you see how pretty color shift is when you use the Tack It method? It's just very cool. It looks almost like chrome or something. And that's it. It's done. It's like I'm going to do the bottom, and that cup now, I brush off all whatever's left over, any excess. None of this is coming off, and now this can be epoxied. And that's it. Now this is ready for epoxy. You don't have to seal it. You don't have to do anything. That's the really nice thing about these guys is like now they're ready to go. And if you see it, it looks really, really cool. It shifts. So color shift is probably one of my favorites. I just love anything Tack It. So I'm going to get set up and get going with the next set of cups. All right, so we've done color shift. Now we're going to go and we're going to do holographic. I am going to use, so holographic is anything that has like a rainbow effect to it when it's laid flat. I'm going to use Peacock by Glitter Mama Co. And I'm going to use this wine glass that I've spray painted teal. This is a strip cup, so the spray paint job isn't great, but we're just demonstration purposes only. So you're going to pour your glitter on. All right, so now we have our holographic glitter on our cup. Put the good glitter back in the shaker so that you don't get it mixed with the Tack It glitter. Now we're going to burnish down. We're going to burnish down our cup. I'm going to use the flat end of my little brush. On that. Isn't that really cool? And it just gives a really, really awesome effect to your cup. I'm going to talk iridescent glitters and Tack It. So an iridescent glitter has a different type of shimmer to it. It has almost like, this one almost has like gold flecks in it. This one has like blue flecks, but it's not holographic where it's rainbow, but it's not metallic. So a metallic glitter is like traditional glitter when you think of glitter. Like this is a metallic glitter. So it doesn't have, it's just the straight color, but it has some shine to it. All right, so now we've done Colorshift and we've done holographic. Now we're going to do iridescent. This just happened to be a cup that was spray painted forever ago. Oh, it's got tack on it. I'm like, why is it sticky? Because I forgot I painted the tack on it. I got some glitter on there, whatever. This is a cup that was painted forever ago for something else. Actually, unfortunately, it was painted. I was going to do a cup for my aunt who was getting treatment for cancer. She ended up passing away, and I kept going down to take care of her, so I never got to finish it. So it literally just got base painted. So I'm just going to use two different iridescents, one that has more of a bluish shimmer and one that has more of that like goldish shimmer. So you can just see how iridescents look. So I'm going to just start with the one with more of the goldish shimmer. This is called Flamingo and it's by Glitter Mama Co. And I'm just going to kind of put it wherever. I'm going to just kind of almost like swirl this on here. And there's, oh, thank you, Willow. And there is, I got glitter on here from another cup, so there is some of the Colorshift on here, which, whatever, it is what it is. We're just going to just put this on, and then we'll do the other one. This isn't your cup, baby. It's not done. No, it's not done. No, it's not done, you silly McGilly. Oh, okay. All right, so that's the iridescent Flamingo. Now I'm going to get ready to do the iridescent Firefly, which is like a pink. This shaker is packed tight and you use very little glitter, so it's kind of spilling on me. All right, so we have Flamingo on, which is an iridescent. Now I'm going to sprinkle some Firefly on. Just give this a little shake, get all the excess glitter off. And I actually may end up sprinkling on an Opal too, so you can see how Opals look. So we might do that too. So this is Firefly, which is like a hot pink iridescent. Super pretty. This is like one of my most favorite pinks, and it's by Glitter Mama Co. It's like just, I mean, this looks amazing on black as well. If you do Tack It with this on black, it just looks awesome.
Hey, Mama.
Thanks, Willow. All right, so I'm going to just do, there's some pink on here. There's some corally kind of color.
Hey, Mama.
Thanks, Willow. Hold on.
Hey,
and
Mama.
Thank you, Willow.
Mama.
Thank you.
Hey, Mama.
All right, well, I don't want those, honey. Thank you. All right, so we have a coral color. Oh, well, it's totally not. All right, so we have a coral color named Flamingo. We have a hot pink called Firefly. Both are from Glitter Mama Co. And I'm also going to show you what a pretty opal looks like because those look amazing when you lay them down. I'm going to go with Elizabeth T, which is also by Glitter Mama Co. Opals can be used as like a cheek glitter. I could have sprayed this all different colors, and it would have totally looked really pretty. I'm just going to pour this all over the bottom so it fills in wherever there isn't anything. And then I'm just going to put it on. And I do cups like this with the Tack It Method a lot. I think that it looks really cool and blends very well. And it's a very easy way to do an ombre. So I'm just going to make sure that I didn't miss anything because... Okay, so. Okay, Willow. All right, so there, my cup has 3 different iridescent, 2 iridescents and an opal glitter on it. So now I'm going to show you what they look like when you burnish them down. And since my burnishing tool is inside, we're using a little makeup sponge. And you can see it's got like glitter on it. It will not transfer onto the other one, which is really nice. So I'm literally going to take it and just rub. And it's going to give a very cool effect. Just like it's a much more subtle effect than Colorshift or a Holographic, but it's still extremely pretty. If you have someone that wants glitter, but they don't want it to be like overpowering or overbearing, using Tack It with an iridescent is a really cool way to go because it's very soft and very shimmery without being glittery. And so I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take everything outside in the light so you can see it. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's not a great ombre because I didn't purposefully ombre the colors, which I probably should have since I decided to throw other ones on there. But this is a big thing to notice with Tack It. Because that's what got on there, you're going to see whatever's underneath. So that's a big thing to remember. So I'm going to grab my tool and I'm going to show you how to do mica powders. Okay, I'm back. Ran back inside. I grabbed my little tool that I was carrying around and left in the house. I'm going to now show you how to do mica powders with Tack It. I like these guys. It's nail dipping powder. Their color shifting is by Born Pretty. I don't know if you can see that. This particular color is Sahara Eye. I use these guys for different things. They're really pretty. So to do the mica on the cup, you're literally, let me go here, you're literally going to take your powder, your brush, dip it in your powder, tap off a little bit of the excess, take your cup, you'll see where I touched it when it was wet with spray paint, but that's okay, and you brush it on. Dip, tap, brush. There's no need to burnish with this. It just goes on and stays because it's a very fine powder. So I'm going to dip, tap, brush, dip, tap, brush, and I do that all the way around. Okay. Now that this is ready for epoxy, nothing else you have to do to it.